Hi, my name is Luis Holguín. My classmate Walter Mora. We're going to talk about the evaluation of modulation and channel coding in 5G and 5.5G networks for Latin American urban environments and suburban. We're part of the course Communication System 2. Introduction. The implementation of 5G and 5.5G mobile networks in Latin America is one of the greatest technological challenges on these years. The region is characterized by high population density in urban and suburban areas, accelerated growth in mobile data demand, and at the same time inequalities in the infrastructure of the telecommunications. In this context, propagation phenomena associated with urbanization, such as building attenuation, co-channel interference, and multipass losses, generate transmission environments with a highly variable signal-to-noise ratios. The appropriate selection of modulation and channel coding schemes becomes a determining factor in ensuring both spectral efficiencies and transmission robustness. The general objective is evaluate the performance of modulation and channel coding techniques used in 5G and 5.5G networks, considering the propagation characteristics and socio-technological conditions of Latin America urban environments, in order to identify optimal configuration that improve spectral efficiency, coverage, and quality of service.
The Turtle frameworks, in context of mobile communications, digital modulation constitutes the technical by which binary information is transported over a frequency carried. In 5G of FDM is primarily used as the access scheme, combined with modulation such as QPSK, 60 QAM, 64 QAM, and 2056 QAM. Each offers a distinct compromise between spectral efficiency and noise tolerance. For example, QPSK maintains excellent robustness under low SNR conditions, while 2056 QAM maximizes the number of bits transmitted per symbol at the expense of recurring a client signal with a high SNR. Channel coding seeks to introduce control redundancy to allow the receiver to detect correct errors. Two main techniques were adopted in 5G standard LDPC, the low density parity check, used for data channel use. This is high efficient, and polar coders assigned to the control channels to their low latency. Others like the method. The study was developed based off documentary review science and technical and regular articles related to the modulation and coding in 5G and 5.5G. Recent research presented Bird versus SNR curves under the urban propagation conditional was analyzed, such as the work of Berbari, the 2025, and adaptive modulation in Nakagami channels, and Cerruti and Matthew, the 2024, and other suburban models. The two representative modulations in this case is 16 QAM and 64 QAM were selected for analysis due to the area where part used in 5G and NR. In addition to the LDPC, coding schemes are referenced. Bird versus SNR curves were compiled from the literature accompanied with urban propagation, parameters specific to the region, and such building penetration loss, multipath, and terminal noise. Other slide.
We have some graphics. about the bear and the SNR and the throughput. For example, in this first graphic, this figure shows the relationship between the bear, the bit error rate, and the SNR, the signal-to-noise ratio, in a channel with Nakagami fading. We can see that the SNR increase and the bear decrease significantly. That this reflects that is a good transmission and the different modulation orders show different performance. For example, high order modulations like 16 QAM or 64 QAM offer a greater spectral efficiency but requires a higher SNR to maintain low error rates. The second graph, it's about the AMC performance in 5G in the band N78 under Nakagami fading. This figure shows how the throughput, the data throughput, increase with increasing the SNR. When we have low SNR levels, throughput is limited, as only low order modulation can be used. As standard quality improves, the system can adapt by using higher modulations, which increase the effective transmission rate. The third graph is about the average power of the received signal in the Nakagami model. We have different parameters, scale parameters that indicate that I said the signal power. We can see that in 0.5 the channel has a lower average power, so the throughput goes more slowly with the SNR. In the other case, in 1.5, the higher average power significantly improves the throughput for the same SNR. In the fourth graph, we have the effect of Doppler shift on the bear. We can see that the bear in urban and suburban environments, these have a strong presence of interference, right? The multipath and obstructions in the path. So the bear is higher for the same SNR compared to suburban areas where the propagation conditions are cleaner. In the fifth figure, we have that this represents the throughput achieved in urban and suburban environments. It is evident that the suburban environments with a lower interference and greater loss line of sight, the throughput is higher. In the contrast, in urban scenarios, performance is affected by noise, reflections, and selective fading, which reduce effective data transmission capacity. And in the last graph, this figure illustrates the spatial distribution of signal coverage in different environments. In urban areas, we have that we have a less people connect in the same cell, but in a suburban is a big area, so we can have more distance between them.
The analyze the channel coding LDPC and polar codes reduce burn. A large urban environment, high building design degenerates interference. The small city, low infrastructure, less interference. And dynamic adaptation MCAs, channel quality improves spectral efficiency. The Latin America needs to balance broad coverage and spectral efficiency due to the infrastructure inequality. The conclusion. The adaptive modulation is essential to balance robustness and efficiency in Latin America urban environments. The coding SMITE ensures relative and low error rate in channel with the high interference. The optimal configuration depends on the urban context. The design site is robust. The small areas prioritize the high throughput. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your attention.